The Vespa GTS is an icon, but for the proud price of 8,000 euros, you can objectively get cheaper scooters, and even better ones, to be honest. So why does everyone still buy it? Why is the Vespa so popular? And with that, a warm welcome to 1000 PSTV here at the beautiful Wiener Neustädter Canal, where I've got the Vespa GTS in front of me, the new 310 in the SuperSport version to be precise. You can spot it by the fact that there's no chrome left on it, everything's blacked out. The frame around the headlight is black, the side elements are blacked out too. It definitely gives it a sporty look if that's what you're into, and of course there are several color options available. Ours here is the classic gold. But even just looking at the Vespa, it's already clear. This is an icon. I've already said it. This shape is the scooter. And we've got genuine metal here. Properly classic. Where else do you still get that on a scooter these days? Exactly, as only on a Vespa. Of course, that also comes with a downside. As a mechanic recently told me, if it tips over, it gets expensive. So full insurance is definitely worth it on a Vespa. But still, this is simply a scooter everyone knows, and people even use the name as a stand-in for any scooter. I know people who say, yeah, I saw a Vespa, and it turns out it was a completely different scooter. It's just that everyone knows the name. And the new GTS 310 absolutely lives up to that name. Build quality is typically Vespa, very high. The panel gaps are spot on. Everything's really well put together. One of the things I always look for as someone who rides scooters regularly is this. The seat bench is shut. No need to push it down again. It clicks shut perfectly. And that's when you really notice the quality. Where I think it slipped a bit is in the switch gear, especially when you look at the indicators and things you use often. In my opinion, it feels a bit too cheap for the price range we're talking about here. Bit of a shame that. But let's move on to what's new. As I said, this is the new 310. It's been available since 2025. What stands out is that the engine's been reworked. The base motor is the same, but the displacement is now 310 cubic centimeters, and it puts out 25 horsepower. That makes it the most powerful Vespa ever made. And I have to say, the powertrain did convince me. Of course, we've got a single-cylinder engine with a CVT gearbox. Your classic scooter setup. Get on, twist the throttle, and off you go. And it works well on the Vespa. You really feel those 300 cubic centimeters. In the city, it's got proper punch. You're always first off the line at the traffic lights. I also tested its top speed out on the country road. You can easily reach 100 kilometers per hour. 130 should be possible too. But once you hit corners, you do notice it only has 12-inch wheels. That makes it a bit unstable. We've also got ABS and traction control as standard. You can even turn it off easily with a button, though for a city scooter, I'd always keep it on. Just to note, it doesn't regulate particularly smoothly. So if you go over a zebra crossing and it's a bit slippery, the Vespa cuts power completely. You lose drive for about half a second. Doesn't bother me personally. It's a scooter. It needs traction control. That's fine. As for suspension and brakes, I don't have much to complain about. The suspension is on the firmer, sportier side. But I'll forgive the scooter for that. It's meant for short trips. And the brakes, if you want good stopping power, you really have to pull both levers. But I think for the type of people the Vespa is made for, those who just potter around town, the braking performance is absolutely sufficient. Especially if you use both brakes. I had the Vespa for a week to test, so of course I can't say much about long-term reliability. But one thing stood out. If you flip out the side stand or hit the emergency stop and try to turn it off, and we even caught this on camera. I parked here, put the kickstand down, put it back up, and it won't start for some reason. The kill switch is on, I am pulling both brake levers, press the starter, but it won't start. Then I tried turning it off and on again twice, waited a bit longer the second time, and it started again. Weird. I honestly don't get it. Anyways, bravo Vespa. So yeah, we tried turning it off and on again, worked on the Vespa too. What else can I say about it? We've got the SuperSport version, which means we've still got the classic analog display. I always love seeing a moving needle. Below that is an LC unit showing the essentials like range, fuel level and trip meter. Visually, it's well done. I'd say readability is okay. If you want more, something fancier, that you'll need the SuperTech version. That one's got a TFT display. When it comes to storage space, things get less pretty. In true Vespa fashion, we've got a fairly small compartment under the seat. I even Googled it to check if I was doing something wrong, because I couldn't fit my jet helmet, the HJC V31, under the seat. But a quick Google search showed I wasn't the only one. Lots of Vespa riders ask, what am I doing wrong? I found two possible solutions. One, buy an original Vespa jet helmet, that one should fit. Or two, there are aftermarket accessories. There's a bigger storage bucket you can buy for a few €100. That should improve the storage. There's also a small glove box, classically Vespa. But again, not much fits in there. I've got the registration documents inside. And as the name suggests, gloves, they fit. But still, in everyday use, the Vespa didn't disappoint me, because we've also got a keyless go system. So I've got the key in my pocket and I control everything using the rotary dial where the ignition would usually be. That works well. But I want to return to my main question. Why is the Vespa so popular, even though it's clearly not a cheap scooter? Honestly, I'm more of a fan of Japanese scooters. They're more affordable, more practical, and generally better. But still, in this week of glorious spring weather, I was always happy to hop on the Vespa. Just the feeling when I sit down and ride off, looking at that beautiful handlebar fairing with the integrated headlight. Only Vespa builds it like that. It's lovely, something you enjoy looking at, and it really gives you a good feeling. The footboards are beautifully classic too, and very low to the ground. So if something happens, you can quickly plant your foot down. The Vespa just gives me a sense of life I don't get from any other scooter. Lots of others try to copy it, but in my time on this job, testing loads of scooters, none has managed to replicate it one-to-one. If you want a Vespa, you've just got to buy a Vespa. Even if that means little storage space, a high price, and a beautiful steel body that's also a bit more fragile. To sum up my review of the new Vespa GTS 310 SuperSport, what I really liked, as I mentioned, was the style and the feeling that Vespa delivers. It's like buying a pair of Adidas trainers. Sure, another shoe might do the same thing, but you want the brand, the lifestyle, that feeling the brand gives you, and you buy into that with Vespa. What didn't I like so much? From a purely practical perspective, as I said, storage, price. But I think Vespa is popular because buyers are willing to accept that compromise because they want a Vespa and nothing else. I hope I was able to sum up my thoughts and my time with the new Vespa GTS 310 SuperSport in a clear way. I hope I've answered all the questions you had. And of course, if you've got a Vespa yourself, or if you want to explain your buying decision, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd love to read it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up to me, Sharp behind the camera, and especially the Vespa. I'd appreciate it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.